Hey guys, welcome to week 6, day 3. I am so excited to start our reread of this text, or these two texts. You guys have done the vocab and the first read with Mr. Freeman, and I'm sure you've done awesome. You guys are experts by now, so let's get into it. Our line of inquiry for this week is, how are rocks and minerals used in our everyday life? And I'm sure since you've been reading, you've been noticing on your walks outside or maybe just inside your own homes, how many rocks and rock materials and minerals are all around us and impact our everyday lives and how important they are. So I am so proud of you guys for really taking these texts to heart and really being such great geologists. So good job. Let's continue using this inquiry through line in our second read of the text today and be even better readers by the end of it. Today we're going to need our text, our annotation key, because that's what we need every day 3 if you haven't caught on yet, our evidence-based response questions with that T-chart, and then a pencil. Today we're going to read and annotate. We're going to answer those text-dependent questions based on the information we gathered, and then we're going to fill out that T-chart using both texts. All right, here is text 1, rocks as resources. So as always, I want you guys to read this on your own. If you need read aloud support, that is a-okay. Please hop on over to Miss Rowe's video. It'll be linked in the description below for some read aloud support, and then come back over for our annotation lesson. So I want you to pause the video, read it, annotate on your own, and then see what I did for my annotations. I am going to let the inquiry through line guide my annotations this week since we have the two texts. So I'm going to go back to this question, how are rocks and minerals used in everyday life, to guide me through this question, because I guarantee there's so much interesting information you guys want to underline, circle, write in your notes. Interesting is sometimes not going to be what's important. So how are these being used in our everyday life? That's what we're going to take notes on, okay? So here is what I annotated this first page. I underlined this, circled this. Here was my note. Let's go on to the second page. So the second page was set up really differently, and so I decided to really focus on my notes in the margin for this page. All right, so this is how I did it. I took these mineral resources and I decided to really put them in categories and then write equals, and that's how I took my notes, and then really write what I found out about each of those things. So coal equals that it generates electricity and powers factories. Diamonds equals jewelry, salt equals seasoning, and so on and so forth for each of those things. You guys might have taken your notes in a different way. This is what helped me and is going to help me remember the important information from that page. It's probably going to really help me write tomorrow. All right, here's the next one. This page is set up in a very similar way, so I think I'm going to take notes in the same way. Go ahead and pause your video, read, and annotate this page. I took notes in the same way. I kind of did a little summary of what this page was all about, and then I took notes. So this page was really that rock materials, and minerals make up so much of the items all around us. I was like, these people are literally surrounded by rock materials and minerals. And then I listed all of the things kind of in order of which these little bubbles went, such as the glass, the blackboards, the magazine paper, the sidewalks, the furniture, and then I put in the parentheses what the material names actually were. Read this page, annotate. Pause your video so you can annotate for yourself before you see mine. I did my annotations in the exact same way for this page. Go ahead and pause the video if you want to read mine, but I'm sure your guys' annotations were wonderful. Now we are on to text 2, rock jobs, rocks and minerals at work. This text is set up in a totally different style than the last one. It's more of the standard paragraphs. So I went back to underlining important information versus mainly taking notes in the margins. I underlined this sentence and this sentence. And then for this page, I underlined not much because if I really focused on that text focusing question, how are we using rocks and minerals in our everyday life? I really only found this and this because there was a lot of interesting information on this page, but there was not a lot of important information on this page, such as things about the Hope Diamond or these really precious gems. That is not going to really impact me every day. You guys know I don't wear big diamonds every day. I don't aspire to carry this big diamond cane every day. That's just not me. So this information just really wasn't pertinent to our text-dependent questions. So let's now answer these. I want you guys to read them on your own. I'm not going to be here to read them out loud for you your whole life. You know, I wish I could. I'm not. So go ahead and read them on your own, and then let's get to some sentence stems that might help us out if you need it. I want you to try to answer them on your own first. If you need some sentence stems, after you can unpause your video to get some sentence stems on the next slide. All right, here are some sentence stems. For our first question, although each text structured its information differently, how did they both communicate the information in a similar way, or what information did they both communicate? However, the blank text helped me understand the content better and why. Because blank. So you need to make a statement on which text actually helped you understand the content better and why. Our second question is explaining if we couldn't use rocks and minerals in our everyday life, how our life would be different. And I think you can really be pushed to give multiple examples of how our life would be different. So that's what this sentence frame is set up to do. And then the last question, you're again answering which text gave you more information and which was more interesting. So there is a sentence stem for that. On your T-chart, you're going back to that inquiry through line of how you're using rocks and minerals in your everyday life. You can go back to those annotations that you did and pop each of the notes you took in that T-chart, one for the first text and one for the second text, and then compare the information. This is going to be such a great way to gather all of your notes, maybe for our writing tomorrow. That'll be exciting. Here is some sentence stems. If you are like, oh, I just don't know how to start. I have all this notes, but I don't really know how to combine them. So one way we use rocks is, in addition, one way we use minerals is, furthermore, and then the same thing for the other text because we're answering the same question. That is the end of our lesson today. You guys are getting to be pros at this day 3, annotating and answering questions. As always, if you need any help, feel free to reach out to Mr. Friedman or I, and we would be happy to set up a session with you on Microsoft Teams. We are so proud of all the work you're doing. We miss you, and we hope you're staying safe. Have a great rest of your day, and keep washing your hands a bunch. Keep social distance.